welcome to my channel and welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you some of the new collection from Kande Dips. Karwn reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to try out some of her new colors from this recent collection that she just did, and I absolutely said yes. I have been keeping an eye on her stuff for a while now, and I just haven't made the leap, so here it is. Here are the decals that come with the collection purchase. Purchase of $20 or more, you get the Nails in a Coffin decals. Super cute decals. These are little candy pieces, which I thought were super adorable. And then everything is in this cute little candy jar. Isn't that like super, super adorable? And the top is orange. She must know me. She definitely must, because the bag is teal and orange. I mean, unless that's her collection colors as well, like, she totally nailed it with all of the colors that were in there. I decided to dump out the rest of the jar and show you the dips that way, but the gumballs is like super cute. Looks like a gumball machine. And here's the rest of the stuff that came inside of that little package. These are like the old school double bubble gums that I used to eat those as a kid. Blue raspberry is my favorite Airhead flavor, by the way. The double bubble the flavor doesn't last long, but that was always the fun of it. It lasts like 5 minutes, but brings me back to childhood. I'm a 90s baby. That's why I grew up in the 90s and 2000s mostly. Early 2000s, like the turn of the century. Anyway, those candies brought me back to childhood. Those are the ones I could afford, those 10-cent candies. But back to the dips. The green is chromable and beautiful. I did not chrome it today, but it is absolutely beautiful. This orange is probably my favorite one from the whole collection that I have seen and that I have in this little bit that she sent me. Limon is gonna be your yellow. So all of these kind of went together. So I'll definitely have to do another one that shows the rest of the dips that I didn't use today. I have a plan for that already, so you just have to stay tuned for that. Then I have Lemon Drops is a glitter. So there were 3 glitters in this, but I didn't want to use all 3 glitters. So this is a super like lemon lime vibes glitter, which I have a plan for that. Super cute plan for that. Then I have White Hot, which is a glow. It reminds me of like almost like Red Hots, like the name of the candy, but this glows, super bright glow. It doesn't really glow as good through the decal that I put over it, so I wasn't able to get a good picture of that. Crushed Candy, I thought it was really cute that she switched candy for her name of her company. And this looks like I crushed up the lollipop that's in this package and just threw it on my nails. Super cute. Here's what I was saying. Look at that orange and teal. I'm keeping this bag forever. It's probably my favorite bag. Also, this oil is from Glossy Oil Company, and it smells so good. So good. I'm all for the sweet, scented, fruit-scented oils. And I asked her if there was going to be a lollipop in my order, because I am addicted to these lollipops as well. It's like, if I see one somewhere, I have to buy it. That lollipop is just my favorite thing. And I'm the one that buys like those big gigantic ones that you see, those like 12-inch ones. That's me. Those are made for me. Anyways, into the mani we go. I decided to use 4 of them to match the lollipop decal. Why not use a lollipop decal? That was my favorite one on the sheet. So I was like, we're going to use it. And the mani would not be able to be done without some of my favorite Sj3 Designs products. And today I'm going to be using the Dipcup liner that I always do, but I'm going to also be using the flexible dip container. I have not used it yet, and I wanted to see which one I liked better. So I will give you my final thoughts at the end of what I think, and also check out the Dipcup liner. It is a thermal, and I was hot, so it was turning yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my design. I actually didn't quite know what I was going to do when I got started, but I know I wanted to use crushed candy because it was besides orange, this was my favorite one. When I opened up the package, I was like, this absolutely has to be used. So I decided to put this on my pinky and my thumb just because I felt like I wanted the glitter to look at the shine in that. I forgot that it showed that on the camera, because when I go outside and I show it, or when I look at it in the sun, it like glistens. Just so hard to catch on camera, but that glitter is like super amazing. It goes with all of the colors. It is just the most beautiful glitter. Also, the small cuticle tool is the metal toothpick that I got in the Color My World Dips birthday bash box. My go-to favorite. They are currently available in the store. I will link everything down in the description box for y'all so y'all can find everything just by clicking on the link. Nothing is an affiliate link. I just like to share everything with y'all. The only one I have is from that's an affiliate link is when I use Maniology, but everything else I just want to share with y'all. I'm not an affiliate with Amazon or any of the companies. I don't get any kind of kickback or anything. I just simply share with y'all what I love, what products I use, my process, all the things with you guys because I like y'all. Y'all are my fans. Y'all are my people. So I like to just show y'all everything that I like. So when you message me and ask me, I can show you a video of how I use it, or I can give you like real life I guess demonstration of how I use the things, because I don't really do any editing other than maybe cutting a couple of things out or speeding it up just a little bit, because it takes me a little while to do my nails sometimes and I don't even want to sit for 30 minutes to do my nails, or an hour. So try to speed up what I can when I can, but also when I'm trying out a new company, I really like to let the company dips shine. I don't do any editing. I leave in what needs to be left in. I take out the filing because I'm obsessive, and that's like a whole 30-minute video in itself, but these dips, when they apply beautifully, I leave in most of it. I do 2 layers, but I leave in the first layer because I do the second layer the exact same way. But this dip, how gorgeous is that glitter? Like, my gosh. If you just wanted to use it like as a topper, a sprinkle over another color, over a solid, it would be great. Sprinkled over the white hot, I should have done that. That would be super gorgeous because it's got that clear base and the glitters look like literally like crushed up candy. It is great, and the shimmer in them is just super beautiful. So now I do what I tell y'all not to do, is I go ahead and I dip all of them versus just finishing up with the glitter and then going into the rest of them. I totally contaminated all of my colors as I saw when I was pouring them all back into their containers. Oh well, I don't mind a little glitter in them, in these particular ones, because I'm probably going to dump candy, crushed candy over all of the colors anyway, because I think it's just too beautiful not to. So I don't mind a couple of glitters, and 1 or 2 glitters isn't hard to pull out, especially when they're a little bit bigger like these ones are. So back onto what I'm doing. I switched, so I'm going to use my Dipcup liner for the rest of the colors because I only have 1 dip container because I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. Spoiler alert, I do like it for chunky glitters, for glitters like the ones that are on my pinky, which are like medium-sized glitters, and smaller sample size dips as well, if I'm going to dip in. Now, if I'm going to pour over, I'm not necessarily a fan because I'm a messy one, and as you saw, I spilled some of it pouring over on my thumb. So I would like it for like French manis if I'm going to get a perfect smile line to like dip in because it's got that ramp. Or if I want to do like a chunky glitter or a foil or anything I'm going to dip into, that's when I would use that particular one. Otherwise, I just stick to my Dipcup liners. So there was a spot on the cuticle that just wasn't coming up right. Look at that orange. That's just 1 layer with the orange. So I feel like these have amazing coverage. They are super beautiful. Like, this orange was my favorite one. It stayed my favorite one. I should have changed up my mani, but I wanted to keep going with all of the colors to match the lollipop. And next I go ahead and I do the green apple. I saved the white to do last. I don't know why. I just happened to do it that way. See what I mean about chromable in the lid? The green can definitely be chromed, and I'll probably have to do that in my next video of using the candy dips, or my next mani using the candy dips, because I like dips that are chromable. They're dual purpose, and I enjoy that about a dip. I'm sorry, my neighbor's cutting his grass. He just started cutting his grass, and it's obnoxious, but my kids are playing in the back. My neighbor's cutting his grass out front, so either kids playing in the water table, which is really loud, or the grass cutting. I'm sorry if you can hear either one. Alright, back to what I am doing. I like to pour over with these. You have to be really careful because the containers are really little, but this one you see just flowed on over. It just was super soft and smooth, and I gave it a little swirl before with my orange wood stick before I used it. And there's plenty of room in these Dipcup liners to dip in, and this is just a sample size container as well. So it doesn't have as much as like a mini, which is usually like a 0.25. That's what people usually get, but I'm a real fan of samples. I like to get samples so that I'm able to get more dips from a company and check out colors before I buy them, because the chances of me using a 0.25 the whole thing are like slim to none. I think I use colors, maybe staple colors like white and black I use the most of, or really, really good glitter, but I try not to use the same color. I mean, let's be real. All of us have a lot of colors and we need to use them all. So there's no sense in repeating. But this white though, this white is a glow. So I love a white glow to go under my decals. It doesn't show up as good under this specific one because it's a full dark one. Now if I would have put one of the more clearer, one of the just outlined, I guess, decals over it, it would have showed up amazingly. But I decided to put the full coverage over top of it, so it didn't glow as good as I had wanted it to. But it's not as chunky, not as dense, I guess you could say, as most that I have seen that are like this kind of a dip, I guess you could say. It applied really easy. It was like a sheer white, like it's not like a thick, like opaque white as you'll see. It's not like super opaque, so it could be like a milky glow white, which I'll have to test that theory out. I have a plan to do something different with that. So lots of ideas as I was doing this mani, and I know it gives off like St. Patrick's Day vibes, but I didn't think about that until I was already in it, and I was just like, it's just gonna have to be what it's gonna be. So now I did the second dip off camera, and now I'm going to do, see how the coverage is like bam. Now I'm gonna dip in clear. I did not have the Kande Dips clear. I don't even know if she has a clear. I did not check that far into her colors, but this is my solid-ish clear. So I'm going to do my white now, and then I'm going to do the orange, and I'm going to do green into this container because this is like my solid-ish, mostly solid. Maybe a couple of specks of glitter have made their way into it by now. And then I'm going to use a different glitter or a different clear that I have set aside for my pinky and my thumb, because I have a whole separate glitter. Why do I keep saying glitter? Clear for my glitters, because I like to have one for my light colors. I have a bunch of different clears. This one is the one I have for my glitters in case anything falls into it, so I'm not disappointed with my whole mani. But that's going to come, it's going to be one of the things I talk about when I do my series. I'm working on my series, so I have decided that I'm going to get my videos together for you, and I'm going to post them as a series. So it may take a little bit longer because I'm going to get at least 5 videos together for my series before I start posting the actual series, which is going to be called Oops, Mistakes Happen and How to Fix Them, or But We Can Fix Them. But it'll definitely be called Oops, Mistakes Happen. But I definitely want to show you how to fix mistakes. So now we have clear capped. I brushed it all off, and I'm going to activate all my nails. I activate twice. I go over, I saturate all of my nails one time, and then I go back and I do the same thing again so that my nails are fully activated, and I make sure that all of the dip powder is going to fully harden because I did the 2 layers plus the clear. I want to make sure it penetrates all the way down to the bottom layer so everything is completely hard, so that we are not filing off dip powder, which is going to be in my series in case you do that, what to do when you do that. So I like to see how the nail is staying wet on the second layer of activation on the ring finger. It's not soaking up as quickly. That's what you want when you're with your activator. You don't want it to soak. You want it to soak in, but not immediately, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and file off camera, and wow, we're done. And I'm back. Filed, shaped a little bit. Didn't need much, but I like to clean up my shape. So now I'm going to go ahead and go into doing the decals. I decided to do 3 decals. I'm going to put a decal on the white nail. I'm going to put a decal on the index finger, and I'm going to put one on the ring finger. I decided that using 3 of the decals would be nice because I ended up using the sugar high because that's what I was going to be when I was done eating that lollipop. Because that lollipop is so good, but it is so full of sugar that I feel like I don't need to eat another piece of candy for like a month. The lollipop is so good though. All of the candy in here was really good. There was a lot of thought that was put into this collection. Everything was like super cohesive because like you got cotton candy, you got like the old school lollipops, you got the gummy bears. My absolute favorite candy of all time is gummy bears. That is my favorite. I think gummy bears and sour Skittles are like my favorite candies that I get on a road trip if I'm ever going anywhere. I get gummy bears, sour Skittles, and a Pepsi if I'm going to drive somewhere. I don't ever drink soda or really eat candy, but if I'm going to spoil myself, those are the ones I'm gonna have. So the gummy bear to be included on here was super, super awesome. All of this candy just takes me back. But of all time, sour Skittles and gummy bears, gummy worms, the original ones, not like the sugared ones or the sour ones. I just like the regular gummy worms. All right, off the candy thing as I was cutting those out. I don't know, the decals just took me back to childhood, back to my favorites and stuff like that. So what I did was, this is also my first time using the Nails on a Coffin decal, so I wasn't quite sure how they worked, so I fumbled a little bit when I was taking the backing off. There were no directions in the packaging, so I didn't look them up online. And the other decals that I use, I did them the same way that I do them, but they did not work the same way. So they ended up still working out for me in the end, but they did not slide off. I had them in the water for the same amount of time I leave all my decals in, but they just weren't sliding off the paper. But once I got them slid off the paper and applied to the nail, everything worked out fine. Sometimes decals with a little more color, they're a little thicker, they're a little larger, they need a little bit more time in the water. So I just had never used these specific ones before, so just a little bit of fumbling with that decal right there. But I mean, they work fine, as you'll see in the process. They apply the same way, they melt off with the acetone the same way. They work. It's just didn't slide off initially. It didn't go off initially the way I would have wanted. That's all. And I just wanted to see how it would look applied over the orange. I just wanted to make sure before I dropped the other decal in the water. I wanted to put the 3 decals on, so I went and found another stamper, and I messed with the stamper while I was getting ready. And this one didn't want to slide off either, so I like to use a stamper because that's my preferred method. Some people just do what I'm doing with my hand and just apply it like that, but I don't like to do it that way. I like to use my stamper, so when it doesn't slide off on my stamper, I don't know, I don't like that. But I like it to just be on my stamper so that I can apply it easier. Enough about that too. So next is going to be my sticky base coat. It's probably time for me to switch out my sticky base coat. I've been using the same one for a while and it's getting harder to get all of it out of the bottle. When stuff gets that low in the bottle, it just sometimes just doesn't work. So just make sure that you have either a gel base or foil gel works or sticky base coat, foil glue, anything like that will help your decals adhere. So really up to however you want to do it. But I'm a fan of Maniology Sticky Base, and I will leave their code so you can save 10% down in the description box for you. I love Maniology. I'm pretty sure they're doing a Mother's Day sale. I hadn't 100% looked into that, so don't quote me on it. But y'all should definitely totally grab some of the sticky base. It's my favorite. This is my 3rd bottle, I think, of the sticky base. It is my absolute favorite. So, back to what I'm doing. I'm applying a coat of sticky base. I let it dry for about 15 seconds or so, and then I put the decal on. It fit my nail just barely. I wanted the lollipop to twist that specific way, so I had to apply it that way. I did not want it to go the other way, and it barely stretched to the side of my middle nail. That was my test. That's to see if it fit my biggest nail. That is my biggest nail besides my thumb. I wouldn't even attempt to try to put it on my thumb because it would not fit. But it fit just barely on my middle finger, but it worked for me. It was just the sides that didn't quite cup over as far as I would want it to, but it worked. It looked beautiful. If I had flipped it around the other way, it would have fit, but we're not going to talk about that. I liked it to do that way. I wanted it that way. As you see on the side, it didn't quite go all the way, but it's fine because I'm not going to be looking at the side of my nail. I'm going to be looking at the top, and it looks beautiful from the top. And now I'm just going to push it in a little bit, going to try to flatten it out as much as I can, and then I'm going to grab my trusty acetone and angled brush, and I'm going to melt off the excess so that it gets on my nail properly and it sticks, and all of the excess is not going to stay. It melted nicely. Everything came off nicely. It stayed. after I put the top coat on, all the wrinkles made their way out. So overall, I ended up liking how it turned out. The only thing that I would have done differently is flip the decal the other way and see if it helped that way. Probably would have been better because your nail is wider at the bottom, so it probably would have done better that way, but I didn't want the design that way. So I had to deal with the issue that I had going the other way. Anyways, I ended up putting the decal on the index finger last because I wanted to make sure that it was going to look good before I put the sticky base on there. And I wanted to make sure that I still wanted it on there, so I did it last. And what I like to do with my single images is I like to melt some of the clear off the side if I don't cut as close as I should have. I like to melt some of the clear off so that it's not staying on there, just because it's just part of the decal. It's not part of the nail or anything, the color. So sometimes it looks weird if you put the polish on or the top coat on. So I just like to melt the excess around it, but you just got to be careful that you don't actually melt the decal too much itself, because then the color will start to wear and you'll pull and you'll melt the decal and it just gets into a thing, which is another part of my series. But all these things, I'm putting together a video of oops, mistakes happen, like different types of mistakes that happen, mistakes that I do. But if y'all have any ideas for my video, the mistakes happen video, if y'all want to see me do anything or help y'all fix any mistakes, drop them in the comments for me, because I would be happy to help y'all with any mistakes that y'all need help fixing. I'll make them and show you how I would fix them. I am not an elaborate fixer, so my stuff is just kind of like what happens in the moment, what matches, but usually my mistakes are fixed with a decal, striping tape, flakes, or glitter. Just throwing that out there. Spoiler alert for the series, I guess you could say, but that's what I do to fix it. Anything can be, just about anything can be fixed. Now, there are some stuff where you just have to file it off and start all over, but most things can be fixed. All right, so we are all finished with the decal. We're going to apply the gel base. I left the base application on here so y'all can see the colors pop, because they are just too beautiful to not show you the popping of the colors. So here is the base coat application. After I do the base coat, I cure the base coat. I cure the four fingers for about 15 seconds. I flash cure them so that I can do the thumb, and then I do my thumb and I full cure it for 30 seconds. And then I will go in and I will apply the top coat. And the specific top coat that I'm going to be using is a wipe top coat, and I love it, so I will prefer to use that one, which means that it leaves a tacky layer even when it's fully cured. So after I get done with the curing of 30 seconds, I have to wipe it off with alcohol at the end. But I do that with my manis anyway, just to clean up any excess, anything, so it does not bother me. But look at how beautiful these colors look. Like, isn't that the decals pop? They're vibrant. It's gorgeous. The pinky finger, you can kind of see the shimmer and the sparkle when I turn my hand. And that orange is just like, I'm drooling over that orange. It's just so beautiful. I had to use the orange. She knew I was going to use the orange. And the green, just I wanted to pull out the green from the glitter and the decal, so that's why I used the green versus the yellow. I could have used yellow and make it a little bit, it would have matched a little bit better with the glitter, but I wanted to pull the green out of the decal, so I figured that did it just a little bit better for me, which is the only reason I picked green over using yellow. But I also have a plan for the yellow anyway, so I'm probably going to be doing like some kind of lemon lime thing. Now, I just went back over the little spots on the middle and the ring finger, just because sometimes over a decal like that, it takes a little bit extra, just because it was a decal, it's not on the nail itself. So sometimes you just got to go back and just make sure that the gel is fully covering the decal. And just like, look at how much difference that makes, just the gel base on top of that nail. Like, you watch it come to life and shimmer and sparkle as you're putting the base coat on. It's basically the same as the top coat, but like, look at that sparkle. I was obsessed, still am obsessed with that. Now I'm going to do the top coat, and then here's how everything turned out at the end. Don't y'all just love, love, love this mani? It is so pretty. And of course, we cannot forget the oil. This is the oil that was sent with the package. This is the oil that's made for this collection. It's not labeled, so I forget what the name of it is, but it smells like it belongs with the collection. It smells super sweet, super good. I like the way that this oil worked. This is my first time trying the dips and the oil and the decals, just all full of firsts. But ultimately, I love how it turned out. I like how the oil soaked in really well. And everything just applied really nicely. Little filing, little buffing, super vibrant colors. I love this collection. This is just a few of the dips from the whole collection that releases on the 12th. So make sure y'all grab them. Also, final thoughts on the Dipcup liner and the container. The liner I will use for all of my dips. The container I will be using for lay-in powders and French. That's my thoughts on that. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope y'all enjoy the collection. Check out the short for a shorter version, and I will catch y'all on the next one.